Our next example is talking about different car rental companies. So this is definitely something that we would use in our everyday life. So if you're going on vacation and you need to rent a car, you want to know kind of the best option for you. So in this case, we have two separate car companies. We've got Pay Up Front, which charges an insurance and gas fee of $33, that's a one-time fee, and a daily rental fee of $8 per day. We also have the Drive Now, Pay Later car rental company that has an insurance and gas fee of $18 and a daily rental fee of $11 per day. So remember, our first step when it comes to these problems is to define our variables. So we need to figure out how much it's going to cost us. So we can make y equals cost, and we can make x that rate of change here. In that case, we're going to talk about our days. Okay, how many days is it going to take for us to use this car? So with step 2, we need to create these two different equations. So I've got pay up front. So we know it's going to cost us some amount of money depending on how many days we have it. And that's going to be our per day. That's what's going to be paired up with our x. So I've got 8x, and then we know it has a one-time fee of $33. So plus 33. Okay, so there's our first one. Our Drive Now, we have a daily rental fee of $11 per day, so that's y equals 11x, and then it has that one-time fee of $18. Okay, so there's our two equations. The best way of solving for this, well, if you look at it, you've got two variables, or two equations where it's y equals, so you can set those two equal to each other to solve, so that's substitution. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got 8x plus 33 equals 11x plus 18. Okay, our goal is to solve for x and tell us how many days, how much days. So let's subtract 8 on both sides. So we've got 33, 11 minus 8 gives me 3x plus 18. We want to move over that 18 by subtracting. 33 minus 18 gives me 15 equals 3x. Divide by 3 on both sides, so x equals 5 days. So what this x is telling you is how many days it's going to take for this cost to be the same. So if you're going on vacation and you know that you're only going to go for 5 days, it doesn't matter which company that you pick. But say you go for 3 days, which one would be better? Okay, that's where you can start plugging some stuff in. And this would be a great example to graph, okay, of graphing it and seeing which one is more expensive during the certain amount of days. But we know at where an x is 5, those two lines are going to cross. Well, I want to see how much it's going to cost me if 5 days do go by and I rent a car. So I'm going to plug this 5 back into one of those equations. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to pick the first one. So I've got 8 times 5 plus 33. Okay, that's going to equal 40 plus 33. 40 plus 33 gives me 73. So it's going to cost me $73 when I break even. But say you're going to be there for 10 days. Okay, maybe pick an equation, plug x equals 10 in, and see which one gives you that better cost. Okay, if you're not going to graph it, another way is just kind of plug and check which one would be the better option. All right, example number 3, we're talking about a carpenter. They're selling some rocking chairs. The material for each chair cost $22.50. The chairs sell for $75 each, and the carpenter spends $420 on advertising. So how many chairs does he need to sell to break even? So with this problem, you can see there's no guidelines, but we still have to follow those steps that were given at the beginning. We got step 1, which is define our variables. So let's go for our rocking chairs. We can make that R equals the number of rocking chairs we need to sell. And then our next variable is going to be C. Again, that's that cost, that total cost. So let's go ahead and create those equations. Remember, we need to have one of how much the person, like us buying a rocking chair. So that's C equals 75R. And then we need an equation where it talks about how much it's going to cost that carpenter to do this stuff. So we've got our total C equals $22.50 R plus 420 for advertising. So we look at these two things, we say, hey, they're equal to each other, so let's use or substitution by setting them equal to each other. So I've got 75R equals 22.50R plus 420. Then we subtract 22.5R on both sides, because remember our goal is to solve for R. So 75 minus 22.5 gives me a 52.5 R. Ooh, that was a little weird. 0.5 R. And that equals 420. We divide by 52.5 on both sides. And we see that R equals 8. So he needs to sell at least 8 rocking chairs to break even. So what that means is we need to figure out what that cost is, how much money he's going to make to break even. So we plug this R back into our equation. So we have our cost equals 75 times 8. Well, 75 times 8 gives me 600. So this answer means he needs to sell at least 8 rocking chairs to break that cost of $600. Okay, hopefully this does make sense to you if you plan on owning a business or starting your own business. This is definitely something that you would use to kind of maximize those funds.